Hello, everyone. How are you guys doing today, you beautiful people? This is Rachelle Ray, your Prosperous Life Coach, counselor, motivational speaker. I just wanted to come in and share some information about how your mind matters. Having a healthy mind equals a healthier you. And so it's important to remain optimistic during this time, having a positive outlook on life and on whatever current situation you may be facing or the current state of affairs. So it's very important that you have that outlook, because if you don't, then you can see where other areas in your life will begin to decline due to not having a healthy mindset. So, my first recommendation is to reduce the amount of time spent watching TV or the news, because we know it's their job to hype up the media and maybe even portray things worse than what they are. Now, I'm not saying that with the pandemic that we're currently in, that it's not um, real, because it is, and we do have people, especially that are contracting the virus. And in the African American community, there are large amounts due to comorbidity and double diagnosis that has made those numbers higher because of the health and those type of issues. So in reducing the amount of time uh, watching the news, or even just having someone call you up and share bad news, reducing that and limiting that to like one particular time a day, once a day, maybe 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock. That'll be your time to watch the news or to pick up the phone when someone is calling, because you know that that person always has bad news and it gets you down that they want to share. So if you reduce that, that would be the first step in accessing or acquiring a healthy mind. So it's important to do that each day. Just have a time of day. This is where I'm going to watch the news, or I'm going to talk to this particular person because I know that they always like to share bad news, or whatever they share gets you down. So if you limit those instances, you'll begin to notice a change. Now, because those uh, are being limited, those instances, you're going to have to replace that with something else, especially if you watch the news 2 or 3 times, or every time something broke out, you were there glued to the TV. So it's going to be important for you to replace that. So that means you're going to have to be aware of your habits, aware of what you're thinking, so you can begin to change those and reestablish some more positive habits, some positive thinking that you can begin to take in to replace all the negative. So there's a saying that you may have heard that says, and it's true, it has been backed up by research, that where your mind goes, your body will eventually follow, or your body will surely follow. We know Mahatma Gandhi had a quote that, your thoughts, be, your beliefs become your thoughts become your actions becomes your behavior. Well, research has gone on to validify that and to show that that is some truth to that. And so that's what made me want to get on as a mental health professional, to say, hey, let's take care of our mental health. Because if that's not in a good place, it's going to trickle down into other areas of your life. So there's these authors, Volumister, Marcio Campo, and Vons. In 2011, they reported in this article a study that they did that showed that there's some truth to what you constantly think on is going to affect you on a subconscious level. And then you're going to find yourself doing things that you didn't want to do, that you had no intention of doing. And so there is some validity to that. And so if you think about people who are in relationships, it starts off with a thought, an idea. And when you don't let the idea go by and you grab the idea and you replay it in your mind, you ponder it, you think on it, daydreaming, fantasizing. That's the difference between people who have, oh, I'm going to be an athlete or I'm going to be a singer, and they constantly think and dream and fantasize about those things. And then subconsciously, their body, their mind, their spirit is speaking to them. And so then they begin to find ways to make this happen. Well, the same thing is true of negative information, of people who have the thought about, oh, that's a nice looking person. I wonder if. And then instead of leaving the thought there, they hold on to it, they ponder it, they keep on thinking about it. And this is how, for people who are in relationships, if they're married, an affair comes about, or if they're in a dating relationship, how cheating comes about, because of your mind and taking that in. And now subconsciously, because you entertain it, you're replaying out these different scenarios, and then bam, when the opportunity presents, you act on it. And it's like, whoa, that was never my intention. Was subconsciously, because you held on to it and you didn't release it and go on and do something else, but you went back, if you did release it and revisit it, and then this is how it has played out into your life. So a lot of people who are married and they're finding themselves at home together with their partner, their spouse, their significant other, or if they're just living together, and it's like, whoa, do I really know this person? Or these things begin to come out. Is because of them not having a healthy mindset. So it's very important to think about what you're thinking about, to be aware of those things, because it will lead you down a path you don't want to take. And so now you see the conflict comes out. And if you don't have the skills to communicate, and part of communicating is actively listening, not cutting each other off. And so that's where this conflict is, because you've been passing each other by in life, going opposite directions. And now that you're here in this place, you have to learn how to communicate and focus on your negative thoughts so you can get that into alignment and get things back the way they need to be. So your mind matters. It matters. It matters. It matters. It matters. And if you don't get it under control, it's going to take you to places that you don't want to go, situations you don't want to be in. Okay? So your mind matters, because having a healthy mind will trigger out to other areas, and it'll even lead to a healthier life, a better life, even in your physical health. So just imagine, having these, continuing to have negative thoughts, and how having those repeatedly play trickles down to your physical body. And so you begin to have aches and pains. It's because you have unease in your mind and your mental thought. And if you get that under control, you'll see how that changes. So your mind matters. Having a healthy mind leads to a healthier you, which is most important. Get your mind right, and then you'll be able to level up in your life. You can level up to a healthier life, a prosperous life, a better life. So it's important to renew your mind on a daily basis. You have to renew your mind on a daily basis, and you have to do it with good stuff. So that means cutting out all the negativity, the complaining, the fighting, the criticizing. All of that plays a part in you having negative outcomes and your actions and your behaviors. So oftentimes, because of that, we tend to hurt the very ones we say that we love. So I just want to help you out with the few things that you can do that can get you on your journey to a healthy mind, which will equal to a healthier you, a healthier me. So, in order to level up, it is necessary that you be aware of your thoughts, for one. Okay, be aware of what you're thinking. Now, if you identify that it is negative, you're not going to go back and keep replaying it. You're going to say, oh, that's a negative thought. And then it's going to let you know what's going on internal, what your internal world looks like. Okay, because oftentimes what's going on internally, we exhibit outwardly and be like, where did that come from? That came from in here, because this right here is not healthy. So we need to get this healthy so the internal world is healthy, and then we exhibit it, happiness, positivity, and level up in life and in our relationships, because we're coming from the right place. So, number one, you're going to be aware of what you're thinking. Number two, we're going to reduce those negative thoughts by reducing and limiting the negative news, the negative people, the negative conversations that we have. We're going to cut that down and reduce that. And in reducing that, it's going to be important, number three, to incorporate positive things, positive conversations, positive programs on television. Um, Most importantly, center yourself. Set aside and be intentional about taking at least 5 minutes. Get in a quiet place or go outside and walk and do some deep breathing. This will help you to clear your mind, to settle in your spirit, and then you can begin to make some conscious thoughts, some conscious steps, some intentional steps about how and where to navigate next. So you're going to incorporate positive and uplifting activities, breathing for 5 minutes, some deep breathing, in a quiet place. You're going to listen to some music that's soft and relaxing, something that's positive and upbeat, nothing that's demeaning and pulling you down, because then you're going to defeat the purpose of doing this. So, breathing, music, that's going to relax and uplift you, and reading a good book. If you're into a mystery book, if you're into nonfiction, memoirs about how people are sharing how they overcome, that will help you to replace the negativity with something positive. Because even though you become aware, now you need to focus on replacing that, so then you can retrain your brain and renew your brain on a daily basis into something that's more positive. And lastly, this will go hand in hand with number one, journal. It could just be an old notebook, or you could use your phone. Most phones have where you can do video speech or dictation, voice memos. Turn it on, and you can have a vocal journal and say, oh, I thought about I'm never going to be able to accomplish this goal. That's a negative thought. You can record that or write it out. And then you're going to say, what's going on? Why do I think I can't accomplish that goal? And so in the next video, I'm going to give you some steps on how to process those thoughts and change it and change your beliefs, so that subconsciously you're working at a higher level. And then you can change all of the conflict and the butting heads that you're having. So during this time, it's important to focus on you and to work on you. So when this is done, you'll come out at a higher level. You can level up and begin to focus and reach those goals that you said you wanted to reach, that you never started on, and you just procrastinated about. So number one, be aware of what you're thinking. Get a journal or a voice recorder on your phone and state what the negative thought is. And then begin to understand, why do I think this? Where did this come from? Did it come from childhood? Did I pick it up along the way growing up in life? Or maybe during my work environment, if you're working with negative people. And so we're going to explore that, and I'll take you through the process of those negative thoughts and changing them around, so that way you'll be able to catch it more quickly and then rewrite the thought, reframe the thought. So I want to wish you guys peace and prosperity, And until next time, I'll see you then. God bless.